15-year-old Georgia Rakin was born with a rare form of skeletal dysplasia where her bones fused together as a toddler, meaning that she'll never grow any bigger. But despite being in constant pain from the condition, Georgia remains incredibly optimistic and cheerful and says height is only a number. And she joins us today with her mum, Andrea, and it's really lovely to have you here.
It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you. So we'll start the story when you are not old enough to remember, if that's okay. So we'll ask mum. How soon did you realise that there was a problem?
When Georgia was born, within the first week of life, she started severely vomiting, diarrhoea. We didn't know whether it'd be like a milk intolerance, so she was transferred to Warrington Hospital, who they couldn't manage that condition either. They did different tests, and as a result of that, she got transferred to Alder Hey Hospital in Liverpool, who, at around about 6 months of age, diagnosed with a bowel condition called tufting enteropathy. It meant Georgia had to be fed intravenously through a central line, enterally through a Mickey button in her tummy, and she was on that for 10 years of her life.
Goodness me. And in and out of hospital pretty much in the first few years of her life.
Definitely, the 2 years.
And what about the dysplasia?
Yeah, well, that came in, obviously Georgia was growing normally up until around, I'd say I noticed about the age of 2 is when the problem started. She had a lot of pain in her joints, and she started to walk as a normal toddler, but then very quickly stopped, was crying a lot. So a lot of tests were done, x-rays, and devastatingly at the age of about 4, we were told that her bones had prematurely fused together.
And what was it like to get that information?
Just completely shocking, just numb. And it took a good few years, I think, for it to settle in, because you never hear that, you know, you never hear of these things happening, and I couldn't imagine Georgia living the life, you know, independently.
Well, school was the first hurdle, wasn't it? That was the first thing that you were worried about.
That was a
Didn't have to be worried at all, because actually you went to school and you thrived. But to begin with, you were just slightly concerned, weren't you?
Yeah, I think because Georgia couldn't mix initially when she was younger because she was on steroids, so she didn't have an immune system. She didn't go to preschool, so when she started school that first day is when it really hit me how tiny Georgia was. And through the years, you know, when they get to about 7, 8, they're going quite tall, and you are noticing she's staying the size she is. But Georgia just never let it bother her, you know.
Well, we're now up to the part of your life which you can remember. So from your point of view, how does it affect you on a day-to-day basis?
Well, because I use a wheelchair around the house, I can be independent up to a certain extent. Yeah. But, like, when I was younger, it was hard because I didn't, like, I used to walk everywhere. It was like I couldn't reach stuff and I couldn't grab myself a drink of water and do the basic things. I couldn't do anything, could I?
What about, because obviously at school people can be notoriously mean. Yeah. How's your schooling been? Because you've got amazing friends, haven't you?
Like, they've all been fab, and I've never had bullying before. I've had, like, stares and mean comments, but I've never been bullied severely, so which is, like, a really good thing.
And do those mean comments sting?
When I was younger, I used to get really upset by them, but now I'm not really bothered because I know that it's just a person who said it, and I'll just forget it and carry on what I'm doing.
You have a great outlook on life. I mean, you've kind of worked out the key to happiness, which at your age is incredible.